What's up? Peace and love. Welcome back. It's been a while. We're out here in paradise today. Beautiful day. So, obviously, right now, the world is in a period of great change. And even since the last time we talked, which was about a week or two ago, there's been great changes. It seems like every hour something seems to change about the situation that we're all in. And many of us are losing freedoms that we were used to having, losing the ability to live our lives the way that we were used to living our lives. Now, this time of year is a very powerful time of year. Obviously, religiously speaking, we're in the Feast of Passover. Metaphysically speaking, we're entering into that new season. We're here into that spring season, into that Aries energy. And anybody who's been outside the last couple days at night, check the moon. This full, beautiful moon. They're calling it this pink moon, super moon. And there's no coincidence, in my mind at least, that what we're dealing with on this earth in regards to the current situation and the way that it started in China in a very spiritual time of year for them, and the way that it's climaxed here with us at a very spiritual time of year for us here, that's no coincidence. Now, I'm not talking necessarily conspiratorially, but in regards to how things work in the universe when it comes to energy, there's no coincidences. And so right now, in this super moon that we're experiencing during this Passover season, everything is amplified. Everything is under the microscope, energetically speaking. And so when you have people glued to CNN 12 to 15 hours a day because they're bound to their houses, all that negative energy that's being drummed up inside of people, all that fear energy is amplified during this time of year. Different seasons produce different results, right? And for a farmer, this is the planting season. But not just for farmers, for people who have a forward and metaphysical approach to how they live their lives, which I recommend, you should be very aware of when you're doing things. So the spring is the planting season, but it's also the season for preparation. It's the season for getting your crops ready for the fall. This is when you get your plants in the ground. This is when you get your flowers in the ground. This is when you get your bulbs in the ground. You get your potatoes in the ground. You get your seeds ready for the fruitage that is to come. And so there's no doubt that as we look around our societies, we look around our lives and we see what's going on, things are being planted. Ideas are being planted about freedom, about fear, about sickness, health, life, and death in this season. And they're being planted in this season so that they can come to fruitage in a bigger way further on down the road. And so don't be surprised if we see now what's begun now ends up being amplified down the road. This fear, this loss of control, this pandemic mindset that's taken over. And so ultimately, what we need to concern ourselves with is taking back our power. Because right now, many people feel powerless. Many people feel like they cannot do or say even what they would like. And it's causing a great deal of mental illness. And so the question is, take back our power. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea, but how do you do that when you're under lockdown, when you can't go out, when you can't go to the beach like you like to, when you can't go to the store like you like to, when you have to stay home? How do you take back your power? Well, there's many ways we can take back our power. See, we get caught up in our lives so much that we often forget about simple things just like breathing. When was the last time you focused on your breath? You see, because as things become more complicated outside around us, it's important that we simplify what's going on inside of us. And we take care of the little things. So as much as right now power has been taken from people, well, there's many ways you can take that power back. How many of us complain about, well, we don't have time to do this, we don't have time to do that, we don't have time to sit back and paint a picture in the yard? Well, here's your chance. You don't have time to stretch. Oh, I'd love to stretch, but I'm just so busy. Well, here's your chance. I don't drink enough water because I'm just so busy. Well, here's your chance. I don't read books because I'm just so busy. Here is your chance. Because there's a jewel in every situation. And so what are some great tips when I talk about breath? So I said breathing. So one of the most important techniques that I've learned when it comes to breathing that all of us should and can immediately start doing is the alternated breathing technique. So what this is you cover one side and just take 5 breaths in through that nostril and out through that nostril, and cover the other side and take 5 in and 5 out. Now why? Because what happens is our bodies become so imbalanced and blocked out that oftentimes many people only breathe through one side of their nose. Many people actually don't even breathe through their noses at all. You hear these people that talk really nasally because they don't ever work that part of their breathing system out. They only breathe through their mouths. Many people are shallow breathers. And so shallow breathing raises your blood pressure. It causes anxiety, and ultimately it can kill you. Because when do you die? When you take your last breath. So one of the simple and most important things that we should all focus on right now is the breath. And that's one thing that we have great control over, especially when we're talking about a disease or a virus that's out there that attacks the lungs, right? And leaves many people breathless. They say that some people who are in the most acute stages of this particular virus, they seem like their body is starved for air. So while you can, get as much air as you can. And there's very metaphysical thoughts in regards to the breath, the spiritual nature of the breath. When Jesus sent his disciples down to prepare for the Passover meal, he breathed on them and gave them the Spirit. So there's a connection between spirit and our breath. And so that's something that I think is a very, very helpful tip that everybody should try immediately, is try and balance out your breathing by trying some of these techniques. There's many techniques. There's the box breathing technique where you do 4 deep breaths. You take 4-second breath in, hold for 4 seconds, 4-second breath out, hold for 4 seconds. There's many other techniques, and they're simple to find. But these are the simple things that we rarely think about. Same thing with stretching the body out. Same thing with, and simple little stretch that we can do. The cross. Open yourself up. Just holding your arms open like this. Open up the diaphragm. Open up the chest. See, because many of us are closed off. And so people who are already closed off, now being stuck in the house, and with this hardcore programming media being pumped into the head all day, every day, a lot of people feel like they're suffocating right now. And another very important step that all of us need to take is to take a good look at the content that you absorb. Now, I understand that the news has some benefits, especially local news, because it's important to know what's going on around you if things are changing fast. However, it is not necessary to sit there and take in bad news all day, because I got news for you. There's plenty of beautiful, amazing things happening all around us, but the media will not tell you that. The media is hell-bent on pounding this fear and anxiety and sickness and death and doom and gloom into your head. And so if you're trying to take your power back, one of the most important things you need to do is take a good look at how much of this negative content are you absorbing and what is it doing to you. If you sit there and watch the news and it makes you feel like shit for the rest of the day, is it worth it? No. And so there's many simple things that we can do, that we need to do in order to begin to take back our power. And sometimes the simplest thing to do is just start with the breath. Wake up in the morning and breathe. If you get a chance to go outside, if you have a yard, if you have a space where you can be outside, take advantage of that air. It's very important. And right now, it's so important for us to take care of ourselves in simple ways. To look at ourselves. Right now, the most important thing across the whole planet should be health. You want to talk about quarantine, you want to talk about this and that with vaccines. How about just taking care of your health? Eat right, sleep right. Take your time. And these are very simple and effective ways we can all take back our power in this situation. So I hope this is helpful for individuals. I know this is a small community that follows this channel, but I think together we're stronger. And although we can't interact physically right now, we can still interact through tools like this, social media. So like, subscribe, leave a comment. Stay blessed, breathe, peace and love.